What's good, African family? Welcome back to the African Wahala. If you like this type of content where we are talking about African issues affecting African people all over the world, we sometimes highlight positive stuff. Click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the content if you like that type of content. So today it's going to be a reactionary video to some Nigerians that found themselves in Ghana, and they somehow realized that they've had it very, very bad in Nigeria. And I'm going to share that video shortly. I would react to it. Feel free to drop a comment. You can be a part of the conversation. Before I go into that video, I'm going to quickly touch on some historical events between Nigeria and Ghana. And we need to realize that Nigeria and Ghana have so many things in common. They are like siblings with a strong rivalry. I mean, at the end of the day, Nigerian people and Ghanaian people, there is more love existing between them than any form of hatred or animosity that people might think. It's still all love at the end of the day. But way back in 1969, there was a situation where the Ghanaian government was compelled to evict lots of Nigerians for whatever reason. And then I don't want to get that year wrong. In 1983, Nigeria retaliated and decided to evict millions of Ghanaians living in Nigeria. Nigeria had intended to evict 700,000 Ghanaians in the second expulsion. Since early 1983, 2 million Ghanaians had already left at that point. So the diplomats in Nigeria put the total to 200,000 that they were going to expel. To cut the long story short, that was where the Ghana must go rhetoric came in. So the reason why the Ghanaians left or were forced to leave was because the oil boom that Nigeria had been experiencing throughout the 70s came to a decline. And once that happened, lots of jobs were lost. The Ghanaian immigrants in Nigeria that were there for jobs because the economy was booming in Nigeria, they were put under so much pressure. The Nigerian government labeled them as those people causing the crimes in Lagos. I'm talking about in the early 80s. And that's what pushed that eviction. It was completely bad. But like I said earlier, in 1969, Ghana had already tried to evict Nigerians too. Fast forward 2023, when Nigeria has already almost completely crumbled. Ghana is not doing extremely positive too as a country, to be honest, especially under the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo. The party, I believe they are called the NDP in Ghana, they have messed up the economy of Ghana. They've put Ghana in so much debt in the last couple of years. It's been bad. These guys are corrupt, extremely corrupt. But even within that corruption, you can still appreciate certain things about Ghana. For example, electricity. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. The level of electric supply in Ghana compared to Nigeria is night and day. I mean, in Nigeria, it's perpetually non-functional as far as electricity generation and distribution is concerned. They just can't figure it out. It's not because it's rocket science, it's corruption. The people that are supposed to provide electricity for Nigerians, they've decided to steal the money. And for that reason, it's impossible to generate electricity. So I'm just going to jump into this video real quick so you can see the reaction of a few Nigerians that found themselves in Ghana. And we'll go from there.
Ghana lights no be anybody papa mate. I've been in Ghana for 2 months, bro. Every night I sleep sound like a baby. No go. Silent night. No Lagos night lullaby killing my eardrums. I've been in Ghana for 2 months. They only took light twice, and that twice, once it was raining heavily, and the second time they had some issues with a transformer, and it lasted for like 2 hours.
Recordings.
I don't know if I'm the only one feeling this, but it almost sounds like that guy sounded like a Ghanaian. He sounded like he was Ghanaian, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just tripping. He had that Ghanaian accent, especially when he said, "They have only taken light for 2 seconds. I've been in Ghana for 2 months." That sounded really Ghanaian. But yeah, that young man was expressing his frustrations about electricity. That's the first thing that he's there to talk about. He has been in Ghana for 2 months. They've taken light twice. Maximum time duration the light was gone was 2 hours. And it was because there was a damage to the transformer.
No, I dey enjoy the lights. No, really, 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 I dey enjoy the light. You see, the first time I enter Ghana, you know what I do? As I enter the house, I go rush, come on my phone, come on my charger. I say I want to charge my phone. They go say, your phone dey 70%. Why you want to see charge am? I say, I don't know whether they go take the lights. Now I see charge am full reach 100% before they go take am. I think say they take light, they take light for Nigeria. When they tell me, okay, go give your food. Yeah, light is not off. 247, you go there. Before your this, even 3 days, 1 week, light never go. No fear. When they say, maybe those are places for Nigeria where we say, sometimes 1 month you never see light. Sometimes the light go come for you to come on your phone, come on your charger before you go even plug and they don't collect them. See, if they, for our place there for Nigeria, if they bring light like this, it could be like saying like Christmas. If everybody goes like that, NEPA! You see as people go rejoice like this.
Bro, that took me out, man. So if you don't understand broken English, what this guy is saying is that is saying the same thing. Man, he has been traumatized. He got to Ghana. He was hurriedly trying to charge his phone because there was electricity. And then people were wondering, why are you in a hurry to charge your phone? I mean, what's the point? So explain to us why you are rushing to charge your phone. And it was like, I expect this light to disappear any second from now because that's how it works where he came from in Nigeria. When you have electricity, people wake up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning because that's when they have light, between 2 a.m. and maybe 4 a.m. So they wake up in the middle of the night, iron some of their clothes, they use the electricity to the maximum level just so that they can maximize that opportunity because they know for sure that the next time they would have light might be the next 24 hours. And it has always been that way. Then the final thing that this guy said that made me laugh was, he said in Nigeria, when, for the most part, there is no light. So when light comes back, electricity supply, people jump up in the air and they're celebrating, hey, up NEPA, up NEPA. And you know what the funniest thing is? NEPA, National Electricity Power Authority, I believe that's what it meant. It's no longer in existence. NEPA hasn't been existing for like 15 years, thereabout. When I was younger, my parents used to say up NEPA whenever light came. When I grew up, I used to say up NEPA when light came. Now that I have kids, they are still saying up NEPA. So we've had this electricity situation way before I existed. Now that I have children, it's still that way. So this is the if you can't read the trajectory, if you are not able to connect the dots and realize that we are not going anywhere. We are going round and round in circles. We are caught up in an infinite loop. And we are finding it so difficult to get out of that situation, the infinite loop that we are stuck in. That's why we're going round and round. I just give you a typical example of my real personal life. My parents were screaming up NEPA throughout when I was in my younger years. I remember when I grew up, I was speaking up NEPA. Now that I have kids, they are saying the same thing because we just can't have electricity. It's never going to work, period. Why is it not going to work? It's not rocket science, but the people on top, they have intentionally kept us in darkness, literally and mentally. They've mentally kept us in darkness. They've beaten us to subjugation. They've subdued us entirely. It became so bad that in the last election, the guys that eventually came out victorious, we are all aware that these are crooks. These are irresponsible criminals that are supposed to be in prison. But they somehow managed to get to the highest levels in the political space. So you tell me, are we not caught up in an infinite loop? We already know what the end result of this is. It's going to end up in more lack of electricity, lack of good roads, lack of basic amenities, brain drain. People are escaping the country like it's no man's business. These negative effects are going to continue, and we know this. So yeah, I just thought I'd put my commentary on that.
Some people call it dance. Before you go even go on your TV self, they don't collect the light. Before you go see them again, another 2 months. Oh boy.
Gentlemen, believe it or not, this is Ghana Airport.
Shame they catch me.
I'm talking about state-of-the-art airport.
I'm telling you.
Look at...
No, turn the other way around.
No, look, just look at... Now,
God.
This doesn't do justice to the whole airport. But this is amazing. It's a shame. Shame.
Are you a Nigerian?
I'm from Zion. I beg to differ.
No, you need to turn this way. Let them see.
I beg your pardon. I beg to differ.
Now, we're not even talking about electricity. We're talking about just how decently looking the airport is in Ghana. And remember, like I said earlier in this video, this presentation, Nigeria was feeling like a big boy in the early 80s. It's decided to maltreat Ghanaians and kicked out millions of them and alleged that they were criminals responsible for the high crime rate. They succeeded. The Ghanaians left. Majority of them left. Right now, the tables have turned, unfortunately. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that Ghana is one heaven, one great country. No, Ghana has a shit ton of problem itself. It has an extremely corrupt government, but at least those guys are not killers. Oh yeah, that's a real difference between the leadership in Ghana and the leadership in Nigeria. You know, Nigeria recently replaced Buhari. In my own books, Buhari is a terrorist. He's supposed to be in prison. That's in my books. You feel free to disagree. That's on you. They replaced a terrorist with a drug dealer, Tinubu. In Ghana, they have a thief as their president, Nana Akufo-Addo. But the difference is, Nana Akufo-Addo is not brutal. He has a little bit of human compassion. He's not the kind of guy that would unleash the military, just shoot them, they are protesting, shoot all of them. And after you shoot them, I will make sure none of you soldiers and police go to prison for killing these bloody civilians. That's the mindset of the Nigerian politicians. That is their mindset. The mindset of a guy like Buhari is shoot them. I have no time for negotiations. They are a dot in the circle. If they protest against me, I'm going to unleash the military on them. We haven't seen what Tinubu does, but it's pretty much the same thing. Just violence. That's the only thing they understand. Nana Akufo-Addo, on the other hand, is corrupt, but he doesn't unleash violence on the Ghanaian people.
Nigeria. Nigeria. Is this fair? Look at Ghana airport.
With all our money.
Oga, when will you go back to your country? That Ben I will call Ukurum. Come. I tell you, say my country na Nigeria. No, nah, they answer me because I dey vex quick. I tell you, say my country na Nigeria. Eh? Country where there's no light, country where there's no road, country where there's no peace, country where killing is a normal thing for them. Eh? Country where our president, no be my president, their president, an ancient of days, omnipotent, omniscient, I am that I am, the beginning and the end. Country where their presidents cannot stand. What's in be that in himself? Tinubu ability to the presidents cannot stand with his 2 feet and make a speech. At times people are complaining about Akufado, talking about Akufado. Chai, they look and they say, man, these people don't know what God give them. These people don't know what God give them. Akufado can stand with his 2 feet and make a speech. Their president, them will not be me because I'm a Ghanaian. Their president cannot stand with his 2 feet and make a speech. Oh, you know, if he stand, if you live and you live and again, and you want me to go back to that country.
Now, this is part of the hopelessness that millions of Nigerians are currently experiencing. If you think about it, few of these guys are able to express themselves to tell the entire world how they feel. I know he's speaking pidgin English, so he might not be communicating to a high percentage of the world's population, but at least you can pick out one or two things from what he's saying. He's explaining how the current president of Nigeria, Tinubu, is unable to even stand on his 2 feet. I mean, there is a slight exaggeration in that, but we know where he's coming from. Tinubu has ill health, just like Buhari did. These guys are sick. They are constantly traveling to London, Paris, United States of America for different medical procedures. Buhari spent over 225 days in London on medical procedures while he was the president. Tinubu has been the president for about 30 days, and he has already been to France, Paris, for medical procedures. So it's a joke. These guys, they are sick physically, they are sick mentally, they are greedy. Oh my goodness. I can't even explain how wicked some of these politicians are. They just don't give a damn. All they care about is the allure of being a president. You know, they love it when people call them His Excellency. Oh, His Excellency, Honorable. That's all they want. That is the only reason these guys try to become presidents or prime or governors or ministers or senators. They only want you to respect them, put them on a pedestal. They want to have access to all your money, and they just want you to be belittled. That's all it is. And that's exactly what this young man is explaining. Explaining to you that you Ghanaians might be complaining about Nana Akufo-Addo. I agree, the guy is corrupt. But if you compare Nana Akufo-Addo to anything that Nigeria has had, then you know it's night and day. Complete, not even comparable.
President that can be sleeping one day and wake up and sign paper, sign war between Nigeria and Russia. Now you saying I'm my country. Hello, are you whining me? You see the way they look like this now. If I mistakenly step my feet in that country, now I go here say Atoyudo official have been kidnapped. And I go here say UD, me, now me be UD. And I go here say I have been kidnapped. What are you telling me? Eh? Let's just see my AC is on. See my lights, Brighton and Otago. Eh? No light for that country. No lights, no road. And you want me to you will see me on the street, you'll be asking me that Ben will be called, come, when will you go back to your village? What do you say Nigeria, my village? See, make I tell you, my name now Bra Kofi.
If you had a choice, would you rather pay $12?
The common denominator amongst the three guys that I've spoken so far is light. No light, no security, no light, no security. If we are being logical and we think about this, if Nigeria was able to just that simple task, provide electricity 24 hours for 50% of the population. Not even 24 hours. I'm pushing it too far. They don't have the capacity to do that good. It's not going to work. But if they could provide electricity for 12 hours a day, just half a day, consistently, for 50% of Nigerians, guaranteed the economy would boom. Guaranteed millions of people that have different ideas, those ideas will come to reality. Millions of people have had ideas that only required a little push, electricity. They would have been manufacturing all types of things. They would have started exporting manufactured products. I mean, this is supposed to be a country that has allegedly 200 million people. I mean, nothing can even be believed about Nigeria these days. They just give us estimates. Oh, you guys are 208 million. How come? How do you know we're 208 million? When last did you have a credible population census? In 1990. So the last credible population census was 33 years ago, and you expect me to believe the numbers you're giving me today? It's a joke. Everything about Nigeria is just a joke. Period. And these are Nigerians letting you know. And I get it. I completely understand that some of you guys that would come across this video are going to be, should I say, naysayers. You're going to completely disagree with me. You're going to disagree with all these guys. As a matter of fact, you're going to call us names like, oh, you're a traitor. Oh, these guys are beyond. I heard that one. You know what guys are going to say? They're the oh my goodness, so sad how they've divided us. You know what a lot of people will say about these guys? They're going to call them, they're IPOP. Oh yeah, these are IPOP people. Why are they saying that these are IPOP people? Because they are looking for a way to demonize them for complaining about the stress that Nigeria brought upon their lives. Are you telling me that if someone is going through stress, he does not deserve to complain? IPOB, that was considered a rogue organization by Buhari's administration. IPOB is not a rogue organization. All IPOB is the indigenous people of Biafra. The word Biafra existed before Nigeria. The people from that region were referred to as Biafrans. And that's why during the Civil War, they tried breaking out of the country simply because they could tell that this country is going to shit. Nigeria forced them to remain a part of Nigeria. No, you guys must stay with us and we must all suffer together. That's exactly what Nigeria did. Fast forward 50 years later, the cries of Biafra came back to surface. Buhari, being the terrorist that he was, used pure violence to crush IPOB again, used media propaganda to label them as terrorists, when in fact, he, Buhari, and his military guys are the terrorists. You see how that works? Imagine being in a country where a criminal has the ability to label an innocent man a criminal. And that's the case between IPOB and Buhari. So if any one of you guys wants to come here and be a naysayer, label these people whatever derogatory names you feel like you're giving them, call them unpatriotic. The only question I have for you is, your leaders that destroyed the country and made it impossible to have electricity, something as simple as electricity. I'm not even talking about secured country. Those leaders that stole all that money, are they patriotic? Because if you're a patriot of the country, you wouldn't treat the country the way your Nigerian politicians treat Nigeria.
People should thank Akufo in this video. He needs to see it. He needs to see it. My citizenship and my this thing, everything supposed to be given to me. I'm now a Ghanaian. You see,
I mean, at the end of the day, you can tell these guys are trying to infuse some humor. They're trying to make it sound a little bit funny, and I get it. Because we play about too many things. Serious issues, we play about it a lot. But at the same time, he's conveying the message that in Ghana, they have a better life than in Nigeria, period.
Which Ukrum? Who tell you say Nigerian am Ukrum? Pacho, if you see me looking good like this, is the evidence of good living. Benko and okra stew, kotoje and Simon, fufu and light soup, kotomire, Ghanaian food. That's why I'm looking fresh like this. You will see me on the road and you'll be asking me when will I go back to my country? Who tell you say Nigeria is my country? Pacho unjai na menjoy me home. And
that's another unfortunate situation. A lot of Nigerians, due to what they have experienced, they have psychologically succeeded. They've mentally broken up with the idea of being a Nigerian. That doesn't mean they wouldn't use the Nigerian passport if they have to. Of course they would. And that definitely does not mean they wouldn't go back to where they are from in what we still have, what they call Nigeria today. If you're from a village somewhere, you still go back to where you're from because you are an indigene of that location. And I have to put it out there that your indigenous status supersedes your citizenship. Let me explain that again. Your indigenous status is where you are from. If you know where you're from, for example, me, I'm from Ijebu Ode. My Ijebu Ode indigenous status supersedes my Nigerian citizenship, because even if Nigeria stops existing, it breaks up to multiple countries come out of what we have as Nigeria today. My Ijebu Ode indigenous status remains, and that's just a fact. Especially when you think about these countries that were created by Europeans, literally divided amongst Europeans in the Conference of Berlin, 1884. They ended up carving out what we have as Nigeria today. I'm talking about Europeans, European colonizers, enslavers, slave drivers, criminals. They carved up the map of Africa, cut off different countries, and gave it to us as our countries. Fast forward in 1914, the British monarchy sent Frederick Lugard to merge the northern and the southern protectorate to become what we have as Nigeria today. The name Nigeria was given to Nigeria by Frederick Lugard's girlfriend, Flora Shaw. So the entire Nigeria thing is a mess. Allegedly, Nigeria means Nigger area. Allegedly. I'm not 100% sure about that. But people also said the word Nigeria given to it by Flora Shaw, the girlfriend of Frederick Lugard, was as a result of the inspiration, the Niger River. But you think about how lazy some of these people could have been. You named a country Nigeria because of the river, right? The River Niger. And then the very next country north of that country, you call the other country Niger. And guess what? We accepted those names and we are still keeping those names with the same borders till this day. You tell me why those types of entities, now that they are absolutely collapsing, not functioning, why we shouldn't throw them away. I mean, feel free if you feel like maybe I'm not making sense. Let me know, because I genuinely believe that if an entity was given to you by your enemy and that entity is destroying your life, the right thing to do is to find a way to overhaul that situation. We've never done that. We kept on holding on to the same idea. Oh, I'm a proud Nigerian. Oh, I rise to compatriots, singing the national anthem and stuff. when at the end of the day, you're going to go back to suffering as a result of that Nigeria on your life. And the politicians in control of the Nigeria are swimming in billions. Criminals, they're swimming in billions. Let's go back to this reaction video so I can wrap it up.
Why? A friend me bra coffee. Me din bra coffee. For my guy, oh no. Say, please.
I'm in my house, eating my fufu and that money with steady electricity. You that is imposing me that you will beat me when I come to Nigeria, you will beat me. Can you beat me? And you're even saying that because I live in the village in Nigeria, that is the reason why I don't have access to steady electricity. Now let me tell you, if you come to Ghana here, even inside the rural areas, in the villages, they have steady electricity.
In the villages, they have steady electricity.
Steady electricity than your capital, which is Abuja. Some of the villages here, the steady electricity they don't have some in Abuja. And you are coming there, even you that.
This guy said the stable electricity that they have in the rural areas of Ghana is even better than what they have in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria.
He's telling me that I'm staying in the village. You that is staying in the city, you don't even have electricity.
Like, I mean, we get the general picture. I think I'm just going to stop this live stream in about 5 minutes. But we get the general picture. A lot of Nigerians they've had the opportunity to taste Ghana. Even though Ghana, like I said, there is a lot of room to improve as a country. They have a lot of issues as well. But if the number of issues that they have is 100, Nigeria probably has 15,000 issues. That is the gap between Nigeria and Ghana. And like I've said several times on this channel, there is no perfect society. Every single country has problems, without a doubt. Even the wealthiest countries in the world have problems. But the difference is some countries, or rather most countries with their problems, they have hope. They are hopeful. Even Afghanistan, as problematic as Afghanistan has been, we've heard about the Taliban taking over the country and stuff. As troublesome as Afghanistan is, it's still much more hopeful than Nigeria. Simply because we've never heard Afghan people, pushed to the wall so bad that they are asking for the country to break up. We've never heard about that. Syria, they've been in a civil war for so long. We don't hear Syrians talking about break Syria up. It's not because, oh, you Nigerians are not patriotic. Why should you be patriotic to something that was forced down your throat and that thing is killing you? Why should you be? Nobody wants to be patriotic to something that is destroying his life. Nobody wants to do that. So yeah, that's me giving my take on this video. There is a little bit more, but I can't complete it because I did not plan for this live stream to exceed 30 minutes. So thank you for joining me on the live stream. If you come across this video in the future, feel free to critique, drop a comment. If you like this type of comment, click on the like button, subscribe to the channel. Peace.